Yo, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all for tuning in with another episode of Welcome Home Dad. You already know who I am and your host, Terrence. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that's watching today. We got another special guest with us. I actually met this gentleman over at a Father's Day basketball tournament this past couple weeks ago in Gainesville. This is Anthony Ray. Actually, what's crazy is when we got to speaking, Ant let me know that he actually is a podcaster as well. So we're going to give him the floor, let him introduce himself, and he's actually going to let you guys know a little bit about his podcast. And like I said, at the end of the episode, we'll get all his information and you'll find all that in the detail box. That way you want to check out what he's doing, which is some really great work. Somewhat similar to what we got going on here at Welcome Home Dad. But like I said, I'm your host, Terrence. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to my man, Ant, if you want to go ahead and let the people know who you are and a little bit about yourself, my man.
For sure. Well, like you said, my name is Anthony Ray. I am the host of Dad, Can We Talk podcast. I started in February 2020. And so ever since then, I've just been on a mission to change the narrative surrounding fatherhood, especially Black fatherhood, because I wanted to let people know that all Black dads are not the same, and let people know that I'm not an anomaly. You know, people used to look at me like that, like oh, you're such a good dad, you just need more of you. And I'm like, I hear that, but I know a lot of great dads out here, and I didn't want people to look at me like, oh, I was just this special thing. I'm like, nah, man, I know way too many great Black dads out here. You know, almost everybody I know, brothers, cousins, friends, everyone I'm associated with is a great dad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody I know, that's all I know. And I felt like, because knowing most guys' stories, we grew up without our dads.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and so we feel like, ain't no way my kid's gonna grow up the way that I grew up. So most guys I know, that's their story. And so, you know, just knowing that there was this narrative that existed like that, I was like, you know what? Let me start a podcast, and instead of me telling people, I'm gonna bring these guys on and give them the opportunity to speak for themselves. So, and I got 146 in the clip right now, man. I got 2 I actually need to work on in the next week and get those out. So, yeah, man, been doing it for a good minute, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said, I want to touch base on what you were saying, the stipulations with dads out here. And like a lot of people, like you said, would associate one bad father, and not just even including whether it's Black, white, whoever. They associate just, oh, this person's a bad father, so that must mean that everybody else he hangs with and associate with is a bad father as well. And me, myself personally, I really hate that, especially like you said, for our culture. I know for myself, not even toot my own horn, like I go well and beyond and above for my girls all the time, man. And I had my dad in my life. He was in the military. So it's a real pleasure to meet somebody else out here that's doing the same thing, wanting to put that spotlight on great fathers out here in the world, man, because we don't get a lot of appreciation, especially like a lot of good Black solid fathers out here. And I know you said that you were working on episode 146. So like he said, he's been doing this for a long time. I'm the rook out here, man. You know, he out here, he the vet. So and I was real happy to meet this man after we got done talking, and I was like, man, I got to get him on the show. Welcome home, Dad, Can We Talk? It's similarities to what we're doing here. Now, Ant, are you grew up with brothers or sisters? Are you the only child?
So I'm actually a middle child. So my mom had 3 boys. I'm the middle of my 2 brothers. That's who I grew up with. My mom, my 2 brothers. On my dad's side, my dad has 8 kids. I got 2 sisters and 6 brothers on that side. So only one of my brothers we have the same mom and dad.
Oh,
you know, my mom's oldest child. So my oldest brother is my mom and my dad's both oldest child. And then in my mom's house, my youngest brother has a different dad.
Yeah.
So he was his dad's oldest child and my mom's baby.
Yeah.
So I grew up as literally my dad's, I'm like in the middle of my dad's children and the middle of my mom.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm like literally a middle child. And I grew up almost, I call it like a middle child syndrome, you know. I always felt left out.
Yeah.
You know, I always felt like, man, nobody don't care nothing about me, you know. My oldest brother was like Mr. Popular, won all the awards.
Okay.
Mr. Popular, Homecoming King, Homecoming Prince. He was all that. He was like the popular prince. He had all the accolades. And my little brother, his dad was like a local rapper.
Okay.
So everybody knew him also.
Gotcha.
And he was like a good basketball player. So both of my brothers played basketball. I was just kind of like, I don't care, bro. I'm just doing my thing. You know, I ain't really.
I feel you.
And I grew up like that, man. And it affected me in a lot of ways that I didn't really notice until I got older. And I'm like, dang, like this why I felt like that, you know? And yeah, it's a big thing, man, just growing up like that. So that was really kind of like my background. Just I always felt like an outcast. And then also both of my brothers that I grew up with, both of them are dark skinned.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I'm the light skinned one. You know, it was just always weird, man. I was the skinny one. You know, I was just always different. So I grew up just feeling like, yeah, nobody don't care nothing about what I have going on.
Now, when you say that, did you use some of that as motivation for you to? Now, I know, did you play sports as well in school? Or?
So I played 9th grade, played basketball, and my mom, after like going into that second semester, my mom, you know, you gotta have like a 2.0.
Yeah.
I think I had like a 2.4 or something like that, 2.3, 2.4. And my mom was like, I want your grades to be better.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take you off the team for a little while. You know, I had gotten in trouble with something that happened at school. And she was like, I'm gonna take you off the team. And me trying to be stubborn, like, oh, I don't care. I don't even want to play no more. Oh, you know, man. And I was playing into that because I also was mad because I felt like everybody felt like I had to play because my oldest brother was playing. Like, I was in 9th grade, he was in 12th grade. And he was like I say, the guy at the school. And I'm like, man, why everybody always trying to make it seem like I got to do what he do?
Yeah.
And I was stubborn, bro. And so I told my mom I don't want to play no more. She was like, I mean, that's your choice.
Yeah.
And after that, I just, 10th grade, 11th grade, they would ask me, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do it. Just trying to prove a point. And now I look back on that stuff, I'm like, boy, I ain't prove a point to nobody.
Yeah, man. And it's, I guess, like, from what I took from that is you not wanting to follow or be in the shadows of, in their footsteps. And I know for me, it's a little different because I'm an only child. So it's just like, man, I wanted to be in the spotlight sometimes, but I also wanted to push myself because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't the best whatever sport I played, man. I didn't play sports until probably like 10th grade. But football is what kind of got me into the world of sports. And then I fell in love with basketball. So I always tell people, you got to take the situation that you're in and turn it around and see how you can get some gratitude out of it. And myself personally, it was just I used that motivation to help me lose weight. The love of basketball, man. It's like, man, I want what these guys have. And then some of them, it just came so easy. It's like they had the spotlight, they had the name, and it's like, man, they didn't have to work hard to get to where they at sometimes, not knowing everybody's story. But it's like, I got to work twice as hard and maybe even harder to get to where they at, man. So I can definitely sympathize with what you're coming from with not wanting to be in the shadow of somebody else. But I know you said growing up, you look back and you think, man, I didn't really prove anything to anybody, and in fact, you might have missed out on something. You know what I'm saying?
So, and that's why I tell a lot of the young boys that I talk with, like my nephew, I'm telling him, I know your daddy on you behind. Bro, I hated your daddy when I was growing up, but don't mess around and miss out on this time that you're in right now. He's going to the 11th grade this year.
Yeah.
And just always tell him, bro, do not miss out on that time. Because right now, yeah, you young. You ain't thinking, oh, yeah, I got time. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, man, listen, bro, you don't want to be me in your 30s now wishing that you would have done something. Like, you don't want that, bro. You know, just go for it all right now. You know, whatever comes of it, comes of it. But put your all into it. Don't let what someone else thinks, what someone else is doing to affect where you're gonna go at, you know, because I felt like I left a lot of potential on the table because I just wanted to, you know, thinking I'm proving a point to my mama, and she like, bro, that's your life.
Yeah, but her make the decision. And,
for real.
And nah, man, we like you said, it's back to circling to the fatherhood and the kids growing up without father figures sometimes in their life. And it is good that you touching base with your nephew and letting him know, like, hey, man, just because you might think you know it all, don't get out here and miss opportunities. Don't leave nothing on the table. And even if we do, in our 30s, have to look back and reminisce on things that we missed out on, it still gives us a chance to help the next generation moving forward. Because a lot of these kids, whether they're male or female, still need a lot of guidance growing up. Just because I'm seeing the stuff going on right now in these younger generations, it's like you can be teaching your kid one thing, they still got to go to school and still be sitting there with somebody else that could be learning the opposite, or might not have that leadership at home or somebody at home to help them out too as well, man.
I want to touch on, you asked about my motivation, taking everything that I had been through, and everything that I felt like I had missed, you know, just being a middle child, not having my dad, all of these things that I had experienced. When I turned 30, I was like, you know, man, I want to go back to school, bro. Like, I want to get my degree. I want to prove to me, I want to prove to myself that I'm more than what I told myself back then. Because I had, you know, when I graduated high school in 2007, I went to community college in Gainesville. I did that for like 3 or 4 years. And after that, you know, after like that 3rd, 4th year, I went to telling myself, man, it's for white people. You know, black people, that ain't me. You know, I ain't smart enough for this, you know, because I had failed so many times. I wanted to make an excuse on why I couldn't do what I had set out to do. And, you know, I started to live with that mindset. And then, you know, I gave my life to God 2011. And that's when things started to change for me. And I became what people know me as right now. Because before then it was a whole different me. So in 2011, when I gave my life to God, in 2012 I got married. I had my first child 2013. And, you know, people had started, the narrative with me had started to change. People seen me doing all this community work. I was doing all these great things. And people started to, you know, I'm coming to the family reunions. People want me to pray. I'm like, ain't nobody never asked me to do, you know, it's just, you know, everybody looking to me, you know, people calling me, you know, like even like my family, they're just like looking at me like I'm this big time person. And I'm like, man, ain't nobody never cared nothing about what I had going on, you know, and now the tables had turned. And I think it was a good thing, but I had told myself so many negative things. And man, when I went and got back in school, summer of 2019, before I had started my podcast, you know, I was in ministry at the time, but I was seeking. I'm like, man, God, you know, I'm doing what my pastor, his vision. Yeah. But God, what have you given me, you know, to impact lives? Yeah. And I did the podcast at a radio station in 2018. Well, it wasn't like a podcast, it was just like a radio show, like a segment, basically. My boy, he was a hip hop director at 90.1 FM in Gainesville. And so he allowed me for like a year to have like 3 hour airtime. And I did that, and it ain't work out for me. And I got discouraged after that because I'm like, and maybe God ain't tell me to do that.
Yeah.
Because of how it all ended. I'm like, man, God ain't tell me to do that, bro. And so I got discouraged for a minute. 2019, I went back to school. I was telling my wife, I'm like, I just got to get in school. Like, I gotta create something. I gotta prove something to myself. Man, I got in school, bro. Man, for the associate degree part of my degree, that first year and a half, I went to Full Sail University online, media communications, and man, aced it, 4.0. Like, I graduated second in the class. I was like, I was the, what do they call it? Not the valedictorian, the salutatorian of my class. But that was in the middle of COVID, so we didn't have a graduation, which sucked.
Yeah.
And then for my bachelor part of my program, I finished that with like a 3.7, 3.8. And we actually did get to go graduate after I got that bachelor degree. And man, to have my mom, my wife, and my kids come see me graduate, bro, and walk across that stage, man, it was like a moment where I was like, dang, like, this is what I feel like I proved something to myself.
Yeah.
That I'm more than what I had told myself, even with all the challenges I had been through. Man, and when I tell you, it was like, yeah, it was one of those moments that make you feel like, dang, you know, I'm greater than what people thought of me and even what I thought of myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then I know you said you graduated, so that was a happy moment. And I want to reach back with what you said when it came to you proved something to yourself. Because I know that's what you talked about earlier about, man, I'm not good enough. Everybody popular. Your brother's popular. Then you got your other brother that had his dad had a name in the city. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of trying to find yourself right now. But that's a lot of things that some people struggle with. Even myself, sometimes some self-doubt. And it's like, man, I know I'm better than what my situation is, or I know I'm better than what I'm going through. And another thing that I want to bring up is how you brought up where I think sometimes as humans, for us, whether it be male or female, how we get caught up in other people's vision. I know you said that your pastor, you was following your pastor's vision, but then you had to ask God, what is it that you want me to do that you can impact lives? And I think that's a thing that we all need to sit back and ask ourselves. What is it that God is having us to do that we can impact others? For all we know, there's somebody out there can be impacting others just by speaking to somebody. You never even know your, hey, how you doing? Or how's your day going? Could just be enough to bless somebody or change their mind about doing something crazy. And congratulations on, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never had no 4 point something in no college arts. Or 3 something. I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie. Yeah. I sit up here and tell everybody. First time in life, for real. I sit up here and tell everybody I'm a C student, man. But I get what you're talking about.
C's get degrees.
Hey, yes sir, yes sir. Now I know you said you got married in 2011.
2012.
Okay, 2012. You had your first child in 2013. Now you just got one, or
so two? I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3. So, like I say, everything just kind of went down the line after, like, I gave my life to God 2011.
Yes, sir.
The next year, I was already with my wife. I had been with my wife. So currently, we've been together for 16 years.
Nice. That's
been married for 13 years.
Yes, sir.
And so we got together back in 2009. Back in 2009, I was just, like I say, I was on a totally different path.
Man.
I was a whole different person.
Yes, sir.
Anybody that knows me from then, they can tell you and attest to, like, yeah, bro changed a lot, you know. And so, and it was for good reason, you know. Like, man, one of my best friends, one of my guys I used to hang out with back then, he gets out of prison next Friday after doing 15 years. He's been gone since March 2011. I gave my life to God February 2011. He got caught up that next week. He's been gone since March 2011. He get out next Friday. I cannot wait.
Yes, sir.
Cannot wait to see my dog, man. But yeah, that was a whole different life. 2011 comes, I'm just like, I can't keep living like this. It's trash, for one. It ain't getting me anywhere, and I can see the end. I can see where it's going to end up at. And so I'm like, I need something different. And God was already drawing me in the whole entire 2010, and there was just a lot of stuff happening. Me and my wife, we were in a long distance relationship. She was in South Carolina at the time. And so, you know, we were together. I gave my life to God. I'm kind of like, man, boy, everything got to go. Everybody. I don't care who you is. If you ain't on the same path as me, you got to go. I can't deal with you, boy. But me and her kind of had like a little tense situation going on. And we broke up for a little minute. A couple of things kind of brought us back together. After 2012, I'm like, man, what's up, man? Let's do this, man. I'm gonna move out my mom's house. I'm gonna get a place, and I'm gonna move you to town. Let's get married, and let's just live for God. And that's what we did, bro. And looking back, hindsight, I'm like, boy, I should have let my wife continue doing what she was doing, and I should have continued doing what I was doing, because we weren't ready at that time, especially financially.
Gotcha.
And we both agreed, and we talk about that a lot, you know, where we really weren't prepared at that moment. Like, if I had to sit back and talk to the 22-year-old me, and he was like, yeah, big bro, I'm finna get married. I'm gonna sit little bro down and say, bro, listen, you ain't ready yet, my boy. I feel you, and I understand what you're saying, but right now, take more time to know yourself. Take more time to understand where you're going in life before you bring this woman here and put her in the mess that you're in. You know, she has things that she also needs to work on. And I would have gave that young man that type of advice.
Now, do you, now when you say that, now when you bring that up and you want to ask your younger self that question, would you say it was pressure that you applied upon yourself because you guys was getting married, you wanted to do everything the right way? That's why?
A lot of church pressure.
Okay.
A lot of pressure from the church, man. You know, I'm just like, I want to be right with God. And that's why I say I get it. I do get what you're saying, young man. But you're going to put yourself in a position to where you're going to make your life very difficult. Very difficult, and more difficult than what it needs to be. And you're about to bring this woman into this also. Let her also get her stuff together. Y'all still see each other, do what you're doing. Man, make sure you take more time to know yourself.
You would say, make sure y'all take time to know yourself.
Boy, listen. Because now, 13 years later, man, last year was the hardest year I ever had for marriage, ever. We were on this time last year, we were on the verge of divorce. Like, we were literally talking about divorce. I'm thinking like, shit, boy, when you gonna leave? Like, when you gonna bring the baby? You know, that's where we was at for real. The back end of last year, we went through therapy. It helped us a little bit. And then for these past 8 months, probably since the end of November, when we stopped therapy, we've been working it out, man. And I can say that we're in a better place right now than where we were 7, 8 months ago. But during that period, especially going through therapy, we talked about a lot of different stuff. And we both agreed on a lot of stuff. Like, we got married prematurely, I think. We were very young, bro. Just young. And we just didn't have nothing. But I also see where we really did trust God, boy. Like, for real. Like, well, God, you don't do it. I don't know how it's gonna happen. You know, and we were homeless for like 5 months, the end of 2017. So we've been through a lot of hard times because of, I think, the choices that we made weren't the most wise choices. That doesn't mean that we don't love each other. That don't mean that we don't think that we just look back and say, dang, we could have made more wise choices, you know? And that was the thing. So, you know, having that first child, 2013, everything was cool. That first child, we was good. My son came 2015. We were still we were good on that. I think we could have worked with the two. But my last two back to back, I had my son December 2015. December 28, 2015. February 2016, she came to me and was like, I'm pregnant. And I ain't even gonna count, which I knew the night it happened. I just ain't say nothing. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna see if I'm right I was hoping I wasn't.
That's crazy. You live on the gamble like that. I did that with my first one. I was like, man, I'm gonna just wait. I went back and I was like trying to look at my head. I'm like, did you? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. We gonna wait.
And I didn't tell her that until years later.
Oh,
we were talking about it, and she was like, "What? Why you ain't saying anything?" I'm like, I was just hoping I was wrong.
Moment, yeah. You just hope you're wrong. Sometimes you might want to be wrong, but
yeah. And so my last two are like 11 months apart.
Okay.
So my last daughter was born November 2016, and so man, after that everything got like really tough. Like really tough because we really weren't expecting that. We were kind of expecting my son, you know.
Yeah.
It had been a couple of years since then, but yeah, having those two back to back, that caused a lot of trauma with us. Then my wife I was away from my wife and my two youngest kids for like 4 months because we lived in a hotel for like a week, and then her family was like up in Chicago. She's originally from Chicago.
Okay.
Some of her family up there was like, y'all can come here. So I was like, man, let's both move up to Chicago. Like, let's just go. I'm ready to do whatever right now. Yeah. She was like, no, I really don't want to go back up there. I don't really want to raise my kids up there.
Yeah.
So we made the decision for her and our two little babies to go up there so she could work. They'll help her with the kids. Okay. Me and my oldest daughter stayed here with my mom. I worked till we just got everything back together, man. So all together that happened October 2017. They didn't come back till like January 18th, 2018. So I was away from my wife and my two young. Like I missed my last baby first steps. I missed her get her teeth in the mouth. I missed my son's second birthday. You know, I missed all that while they were gone, man. And it was a lot on her. And I think that hurt her in a lot of ways to where she going through that trauma, man. I didn't notice how much it had weighed on her and affected her until, you know, years later when she finally came out, right before I graduated college, bro. She came out one day, she just like, hey, we need to talk when I get home. Get that text message. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, you get that text message, you might even be at work. Now your mind out here racing.
Goodness gracious.
But man, it's you brought up quite a few things, and I know you guys say you did the counseling. I know, would that have been something that you possibly would have done earlier in the stages? Would you say that would have made some slight changes versus when you guys waited a little bit after you got married?
If I could go back, we would have started counseling like before marriage.
Okay.
And I would have went not to my pastor. We did the premarital counseling with him, but anybody looking into counseling, man, go to someone that you don't know.
Yeah.
Please just go to someone that neither one of you know. And I say that because that you got a third party that doesn't know either one of you, that's literally non-biased and will help you to talk through different things. So when we went through the premarital counseling, it was like, this is my pastor. Like
he kind of know you already.
Yeah. It wasn't really what we needed.
Got you guys, and then you gotta kind of play like, oh, he know me, he might not really know her, and then not saying I'm thinking for her, but then she's like, well, they know each other, so he might be taking his side, you know. So like he said, if a lot of you guys who are out there thinking about getting married, please go to someone, his words, not mine. Yeah. Go to someone, that's not going to be biased, or neither one of y'all know each other. And I've heard statistically that it is better. And even if it isn't a church thing, it is statistically better for people to go to the counseling before you guys decide to jump the gun and get married, because it can solve a lot of issues. And then going back to what you said, take the time out to know each other, and also to know yourselves first as well, because that can play a major role in your life. One of the last questions that I wanted to bring up was, I know you said you grew up with your mom and you had two other siblings in the house. Okay, now with that being said, was there a lot of shared time with you and dad, or is it just more so like, oh, I'll see him here or there, or just like whenever you guys can make the time to see each other?
You said with my dad?
Yeah.
So I only seen my dad on like holidays at my granny house. So when we would, it'd be Thanksgiving, Christmas. Really, when I would see him, and there was never really like any animosity. Like I hated my dad, because when I did see him, it was love.
Yeah.
It was like he see me, I'm like, oh shit, that my boss. And he come, he like we talking, we laugh, and he would always love on me and hug on me and tell me how much he missed me. And he was a very, very loving guy. So when we would see each other, it would just be that we talk about sports. I'm at my granny house, we over there playing a video game, we chilling. But it was like after he left that night, I'm like, shit, I don't know when the next time I see that nigga, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be next year. And then out of the blue, sometimes I get a letter sent to the house, and my mama like, oh, your daddy sent you a letter, he in prison.
Yeah.
He's been in prison like 3 times. He always in and out the county jail all the time. 3 weeks here, 2 months there, 8 months here, a week there. It just every now I'm like, damn, my daddy in jail again.
Yeah.
And so when I would see him, it was just holidays. We would see him then, and at that time, it was confusing. It was one part of my life where he was active when he was with my younger sister's mom. He used to come pick me and my brother up, take us to the beach, take us to Ryan's buffet, and Denny's, and all type of stuff. He used to do a lot with us. And today, me and him are good now. Like the Joker just called me this morning. I hadn't talked with him in like a week and a half. We talked, dang, bro, like, boy, I've been trying to call your phone, boy. Man, you good?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm good, Pops. That nigga working, boy. But we're good now.
Yeah.
And really, it all happened back in 2011 when I gave my life to God, bro.
Oh, that's a blessing, man.
And that's when I went to the jail. I pulled up on him and I'm like, Pops, talk to me, tell me what happened.
Yeah.
And after that, I got an understanding.
Gotcha.
And man, that changed everything for us.
Well, that once again, man, that's a blessing, because a lot of guys, either they don't get to talk to their dad because either vice versa, somebody done passed away, or somebody in and out of jail, or they just, I don't want to talk to them. And that's a real blessing that y'all are now on the right path with each other, communication. Whether he got to blow your phone up to make sure you're all right, that's a blessing, man. And at the end of the day, reverting back to your podcast, Dad, Can We Talk? I just want to make sure we let the people know where they can find you, because I know I was on your page the first time that I met you. You got the website, you got the podcast. Now, you just fill the people in where they can find you at and everything too as well.
For sure. So y'all can go to the website, www.dadcanwetalk.com. You'll find the audio version of the podcast streaming on the website. There's a video portion of the website. If you click on that tab, you'll see all the videos there. Those are all the videos that are from YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, type in Dad Can We Talk, you will find the channel there. If you type in Dad Can We Talk, something associated with the podcast will pop up. You can find us on Spotify. Type in Dad Can We Talk. Apple Podcasts, Dad Can We Talk. You can also follow me on socials, Facebook, Dad Can We Talk. Instagram, same thing. And those are really all the channels that I like. Really. And then I also have a TikTok. Okay. You can find that Dad Can We Talk. I post some clips over there every now and then. But yeah, man, that's where you can find the podcast. Subscribe to the channels, man. I always tell people that's the biggest way you can support anyone that's podcasting, man. Subscribe to the channels. It's free,
man.
And it's easy.
You don't watch them, just subscribe, help people out, man. And like I said, I will make sure we put all that information in the detail box, so that way you guys can click on that link and go follow his pages, and also definitely make sure you show some love to his channel as well. Before we get up out of here, man, I like to ask just one question to anybody that comes on the show, just to kind of see if they have some feedback or a slogan that they might live and die by. My question to you today is, man, what is something in the community that you are wanting to change, or that you are out here doing to help the next generations to come? What are some things that you're doing in the community out here to help wise?
Well, my slogan for my podcast literally is changing the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I want to change the narrative that surrounded fatherhood for so long. And I do that by interviewing dads, giving dads a platform, letting people see us in a different light, you know, and that's just all dads, you know. If you just look at cartoons, movies, you see dads always portrayed as this goofy guy who don't know what he's doing, don't know how to take care of the kids, you know. Mom leave and go to the grocery store, she come back, the house is on fire.
Yeah.
They always portray us the same way on everything. That's white dads, black dads. You look at cartoons, movies, TV shows, we're portrayed in a certain way. And it's always us being inadequate providers for the children. And that's not what I see, man. So I said, you know what? Let me do what I do. I'm going to start showing people a different picture, and I'm going to change that narrative, man. So I think 5 years later, you know, I've seen it change, especially in my city, in Gainesville. I see a lot of them, and I just see it just in general all over social media. You see dads in so many places now. You see a lot of people doing dad podcasts, and I love it because when I first got that idea back in 2017, the reason I wanted to start it because I did not see any black host of podcasts, and I was a big podcast listener. There was not one black host of a podcast, a fatherhood podcast back then. There wasn't one, bro.
Gotcha.
There wasn't. So to see other guys doing this right now, I love it, bro.
Oh, definitely, man. And like he said, changing the narrative, man. Getting out here, whether you a single dad, divorced, married, looking to get married, you can get out here and change the narrative by stepping up. You might know someone that doesn't have a father figure or a male role model in their life. It doesn't hurt to get out there and just, you know, help somebody, like you said, aka change the narrative, man. But once again, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Welcome Home Dad. Y'all already know who I am, Terrence. We appreciate our guest today, Anthony, for stopping by. And like y'all said, make sure you guys stop by and check out his channel, Dad Can We Talk. Like I said, I'll put that information in the description below. I'm Terrence. This is Ant. We out, y'all.